A celebration with centuries of tradition, Dia de Muertos is the time of year in which Mexicans honor and remember their deceased, surrounded with color, light, and food. A lot of food. Even if you are dead in Mexico, you still get to eat. This Mexican tradition was named in 2008 as Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity by UNESCO. The tradition goes back to the time of the Aztecs, where life and death was a fact and your fate in the underworld depended on the way you had died. But it was until the arrival of the Spaniards that this transitory return of souls began to be celebrated. Today we will visit some of the most iconic and visited ofrendas in Mexico City. November 1st was classified as the Day of All Saints or Dead Children, and November 2nd, the Day of the Faithful Departed who are adults. The ofrendas are a kind of ritual through which the dead meet again with the living. They represent the union between the old and the new world. It is an altar with candles, pan de muerto, cempasúchil flowers, papel picado, fruits, and the favorite dishes of the person being honored. Although each person builds his altars according to his ideas and tastes, there are essential elements that cannot be missing. We are here at Reforma 36, where John Paul Gautier pays tribute to Mexico by celebrating Dia de Muertos in a collaboration with artisans from different regions of the country, Oaxaca, Chiapas, and Michoacán, in a monumental offering. This is the third consecutive year in which this designer presents this tribute to Mexican culture. The previous 2 years were the Blue House by Frida Kahlo and the Anahuacalli Museum by Diego Rivera. In the offering, along with the classic elements, wrestling masks are exhibited that have been intervened by Jean-Paul Gaultier's studio in Paris to remember his collection inspired by this theme several years ago. Six years ago, the trailer for the film 007 Spectre from the saga of the famous agent James Bond became popular in this country because of the first scenes to show a very Mexican setting. The streets of the capital full of people in disguises, traditional Day of the Dead, Catrinas of all ages, giant skulls, women dancing traditional dances, and many other bombastic characters. It was precisely after the premiere of the film in 2015 that the Day of the Dead parades became popular in Mexico. So much so that it has been celebrated year after year since that date. The filmmaker Sam Mendes managed to portray one of the celebrations that is recognized by the UNESCO as a World Heritage Site in the film of the famous Agent 007, after showing a parade in the streets of the historic center. To end our amazing trip, we will make one last stop, the traditional Mixquic town in which year after year people of all kinds gather to celebrate Dia de Muertos in the light of the Alumbrada. We are here at Mixquic to continue this travel through Mexico City during Dia de Muertos. Mixquic means place of those who take care of the water. This destination is located just 1 hour from Xochimilco in the Tláhuac delegation. Mixquic is one of the places in Mexico City that is most deeply rooted in the Dia de Muertos celebrations. During the 1st and 2nd of November, the inhabitants of the city place elements alluding to the festivities outside their houses: confetti, cardboard Catrinas, calacas, and offerings. We can also find foods and games in the streets that surround the San Andres Church and the cemetery. The middle of the cemetery is the Temple of San Andres. Mixquic is one of the 7 original towns of Tláhuac and one of the 21 magical neighborhoods of Mexico City. Each year, the authorities of Tláhuac expect the town of San Andres Mixquic will reach more than 100,000 people. Starting at 7 p.m., the people come to the graves to decorate them with flowers and light them with candles. To end the night in Mixquic and the magical celebration of the Day of the Dead, we go to the Mixquic Cemetery where the famous Alumbrada takes place. A tradition where every year all the relatives of the deceased gather to honor them with an offering on their tombstone throughout the night of November 2nd. The offerings that are placed on the graves and the flowers that adorn the houses of this town color a tradition that lights up the way for the souls of the dead who come on these dates.